presence, really welcoming him back. They are without their starting outside linebacker to begin the season, Peja Zivkovic, who
Yeah,
has a
Rogerson
sprained
did a
ankle.
great job of shooting that gap there, really stopping that run quickly and not really letting Bellarmine get anything out of that one.
So it's second down and 11. Smith's going to hand it off to Henry again. And he lost the football, but he recovered it. And that was a nice gain up to the 20 for 7 yards. So 2 carries for 6 yards for him, and third and manageable for this Bellarmine offense, doing a good job of getting back on schedule.
Yeah, good second effort there from Bellarmine as you can see a little dive he put in there to gain those extra couple of yards. It's about a 3rd and 3 right now, and I would expect to see some play action or something to really open up this defense.
Nick Teresi gets in there at quarterback. He'll take the shotgun snap, and he will keep it. He needs the 24. It looks like he got the 22 and a half. The last guy out of the pile there again is Rogerson. He also had some help on that play defensively. Did Thomas Rogerson. He was the first guy there, but Logan Bartlett also was in on the stop, and it's just going to be a 3-yard gain, and so they come up a 1 yard shy, and the Bells will send out the punting unit.
Yeah, Vintage did not fall for that QB keeper there. I think there's just one cornerback who went after the running back who they faked it to. So good job for Vintage of doing their homework and not falling for that one.
That snap was bounced over to Andrew Schaefer, who does well with it, and fair caught, I thought, by Bartlett, but no flag. He was tackled immediately. He did have a knee down, so wouldn't have been able to advance the football, but good starting field position for Vintage at the 45.
Yeah, it is good starting field position, but some silver lining on that play. It was a good tackle, able to get through a block. So Bellarmine, in the past few seasons, haven't really been too physical or able to get too physical with their opponent, but that avoidance of a block was a good start, especially the special teams unit.
Jacob Aaron is the starting quarterback. He got injured in the first quarter of their last game, a 28-20 win over Acalanes, and Dylan Leach saying he would be a little bit limited. He's not going to play on defense. He is a all-league safety as well. Their other quarterback is Bill Chaidez. Bill Chaidez a little quicker, better with the ball, carrying the ball, and Aaron better with throwing the football. So here we go. Bellarmine with 4 down linemen, and we have a flag, and it's a delay of game already on Vintage.
Well, not the way Vintage want to start this one off. I think there was some miscommunication with the coaching staff or the players about the formation, so
yeah.
The delay game penalty call, that sets them back 5. Still first down, though.
1st and 15. We'll give you the Bellarmine starters that were given to us by Mike Janda as this drive goes on. Mike Janda in his 36th season. The toss goes to Mauricio Castro, a very good running back. He has the first down and then some as he forges his way into plus territory. Gets knocked out of bounds inside the 45. They knock him out at the 41. That's a 19-yard gain for Mauricio Castro.
The offensive line did a great job of setting the edge on that play as the Bellarmine defenders, the linebackers weren't able to get there in time. That left their corner safety hang out to dry there. Their secondary had to bail them out, but still great gain from Vintage on that play.
9:53 to go in the first quarter. We are working to get the picture up for you. We have some cameras getting set up right now, so we'll treat this more like a radio broadcast until those cameras are up and running. As it is 1st and 10 from the Bellarmine 41. Aaron's going to hand it off. It's Castro again. He's met in the backfield by a bevy of Bells. And the first guy to bring him down there, number 50 for Bellarmine, that is Dominic Gudadaro, the senior. Plays a little linebacker, can play on the D-line as well. He's done a nice job there with that -1.
Yeah, great reading of the play, much better than the last one. They're able to use their speed to their advantage. Bellarmine is a slightly smaller team, but the advantages of that come with being fast, and they're able to use that to their advantage and get to the backfield really quickly.
Gudadaro, the linebacker, making the tackle. This is a direct snap, and it's going to be a gain down to about the 36 on the carry there. Looked like number 22, who is not listed on the roster of Vintage. The 21's Jaden Benjamin. He's listed as a running back. Could be him.
Yeah, pretty good response after that disaster of a second down play where they lost yardage. They still got some work to do to pick up this first down. Let's see what they throw at this Bellarmine defense.
Trips near side play action here on 3rd down. Aaron hits the check down, and that's going to be a first down for Bryce Eade on the reception as he is knocked out of bounds. Adam Hayashi there alongside number 33 for the Bells, Drew Brock. But the chains will move.
Yeah, that was a good reading of the play by the quarterback. The pressure was getting there, but it wasn't getting there in time, allowing the blockers to set up for the check down option and the running back able to make a play with his feet on that one.
8:30 to go first quarter. We are scoreless, but the Vintage Crushers are driving. That'll be a gain of about 2 to the 22. And Jeremy Bradley on the carry that time.
Yeah, good carry, but I think Vintage wanted a little more on that play, but I think that's a good way to start this series off for Vintage.
So 2nd down and 8. Ball is at the 22. 8 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Clock running as Jacob Aaron will go out of the gun this time. Bradley to his left, Castro to his right. Aaron gonna keep it now, try to pitch it out, and it's knocked down. He'll cover it up, fortunately for him, but getting a hand on that, Garrett Arnold reading that beautifully.
Yeah, Arnold comes in there, and he's about to make the tackle, and he sticks his hand out to disrupt that little toss there. Unfortunately, Bellarmine wasn't able to fall on that one. Missed opportunity there, but great reading of the play from Bellarmine, and let's see if they can use that as a little motivation to get a big stop here on 3rd down. It's 3rd and about 13.
Yeah.
It's a big one.
3rd and 13 from the 27. 7:12 to go here in the first quarter as the clock continues to drain. Aaron out of the shotgun. They converted a 3rd down earlier in this drive. Now it's the pistol formation. Guy in motion over to the right. Play action. And Aaron throwing on the run, looking downfield, and it is caught. And in the end zone for a touchdown, Billy Birdsall comes down with a 27-yard touchdown reception.
What a great play. The quarterback slotted that ball in the perfect position. There were a couple of Bellarmine secondary players who could have made a big play on that one, but that ball came in like a laser, and the receiver able to make the snag for a great touchdown. He kept his feet in bounds. Bellarmine, they couldn't really capitalize on that 3rd and long situation that they had Vintage at. So a good play there from Vintage.
Jacob Aaron, 2nd team All Vine Valley Athletic League last year. They're going to go for 2. And the snap is high, and his pass is batted down, so it will stay 6-0. And Ben Richards getting a hand on that one for the Bells to keep it at a 6-0 deficit with 6:48 to go in the first quarter.
Great defensive play from Bellarmine. I was a little surprised that they came out in that formation. They really didn't have any protection on the strong side. So Vintage really couldn't take advantage of that opportunity. Came out empty. But good job from Bellarmine as they're able to get pressure from the side. There was no blockers on.
6:48 to go in the first quarter. 6-0. The Vintage Crushers leading the Bellarmine Bells. As Bellarmine went 3 and out their first time. Kevin Dana alongside Samarth Garish. And Bellarmine Jr. He'll do play-by-play in the 3rd quarter. We are still working on getting our cameras up and running for you. So we're happy you're tuned into the audio stream for now. As this will be kicked off by Tate Solis, number 42. Dylan Leach saying he has range out to 42 yards on his field goal attempts. He is a soccer player for the Vintage soccer team. Here's Hayashi on the return, and it's a good one. He's past the 30, makes a guy miss at the 32. He's down the far sideline, gets up near midfield. He's going to be bumped out of bounds around the 45. That's a good return of 30-plus yards for Adam Hayashi.
What a return from Hayashi. It was a squib kick. He's able to ground that football, and he makes a play, gets a couple of great blocks, but it's mainly his feet and his footwork that gets him to around the 50-yard line, puts the Bellarmine offense in great field position. So let's see if they're able to utilize this and make the the best of this situation.
Well, that's one thing that has gone well for the Bells this year. Izon Henry, kickoff returns, that is. Izon Henry had an 89-yard kickoff return for a touchdown in the loss to Menlo Atherton week 1.
Yeah, special teams has always been a strong point for this Bellarmine side. It looks like a false start on that play.
Yeah, about 5 different people moved before the ball was snapped. And the snap was actually taken by Dominic Smith of Vintage, defensive lineman. And that'll move Bellarmine back 5. By the way, the starting offense for Bellarmine, you have Wade Smith is your quarterback. Your starting running back, Adam Hayashi, Izon Henry, Griffin Weiss, Ben Richards, your tight ends, Reese Burrill, your fullback. Offensive line, Marcus Mifsud, Tyler Bowes, Ethan Galbraith, Thomas Blevins, and Justin Lewinsky, as we have another flag pre-snap.
Yeah, both teams pointing to each other. This one, it's going to be on the defense. Oh, there we go. That negates the one on Bellarmine. So we're right back where we started from.
So that is the second penalty on the Crushers.
Yeah, both teams just getting settled into this game. Though Vintage has already scored a touchdown, that moves this Bellarmine team up.
Yeah, that was a 15-yard penalty. It was unsportsmanlike conduct on the Crushers.
Oh.
So the ball is moved up to the 45 of Vintage. First play in enemy territory for the Bells tonight with 6:39 to go in the first quarter. It's Smith out of the gun. Burrill to his right. Screen toss is complete. And it's Thomas DiVittorio who gets wrestled down at right around the 42-yard line. It's going to be a gain of 3, and he was brought down by Jack Odell.
I like the play call there. It was a little risky on the execution as the blockers hadn't set up completely. But that does keep the Vintage defense honest instead of sticking to that run-heavy game that we know the Bellarmine offense to run so frequently.
2nd down and 7, trips near side out of the gun. Smith looking to his left. He'll tuck it and run. He's at the 42 and gets leveled. Wow, a big hit there. And making the tackle for Vintage. It looked like that was Bryce Ead on the stop, number 19.
Yeah, Smith took off on that one. I was hoping to see him make a play with his feet there, but got to give all credit to the defense on that play for making a great open field tackle.
Officially, it'll go down as a 1-yard gain. It'll be 3rd and a long 6 from the 41. Trips far side this time. Tyreek Madriz jinks in there. DiVittorio out to the left. And Smith's going to keep this one. And he has the first down as he scurries forward inside the 35. Eventually brought down at the 33. Bryce Ead was there again, but not before an 8-yard gain and a Bellarmine first down.
I like that play calling. They're a little bold, especially on a 3rd and long to have a QB draw, but they had receivers spread out wide. That really spread the secondary out and cleared the box, able to make way for the quarterback to take it downfield and pick up that first down.
And actually give him the 32, so it's a 9-yard gain. Clock under 5 minutes first quarter. Out of the gun, the handoff, Izon Henry makes the guy miss and gets inside the 28. Could be a late hit there on Jack Odell. It is not called.
Yeah, I like what I'm seeing from Izon Henry. He's shown a bit of elusiveness. And in this offense, a good running back is very, very important and very beneficial as it is mainly a run-based team. So with the likes of Austin Ajike a couple of years ago who really tore it up on the field. So let's see if Bellarmine can get back to those glory days, so to speak.
It looks like we do have the cameras running now. I'm glad you're joining us on BCP Sports Live. Henry up the gut, and he's got another first down as he's wrestled down at the 20-yard line for a gain of 8.
Great play from Bellarmine. They're able to clear the hole on the offensive line, from the offensive line front, and they're able to pick up the linebackers with some great blocking, and it sets up a second and – no, it is a first down. They changed the marker right now.
1st and 10 from the 20, and it was Ian Avalos on the tackle for the Crushers who employ a 3-4 defense. Dylan Lee saying there's no secret about it. We're going to line up a nose guard every play. This is Izon one more time, and he is stuffed immediately. And the guy to really make that play up front for the Crushers, number 52, Nate Perry.
Yeah, great penetration there for the Crushers. Bellarmine's offensive line on this drive has looked much better than it has in the recent past, but on that play it was Vintage who really wanted it more.
Wade Smith gonna get back into the huddle after getting the play call. It's second down 10, 3:12 to go here first quarter. Out of the gun, Smith. Henry to his right, looking to the right. End zone fade has Tyreek Madriz jinx, and he comes down with it. No, just knocked out of his hands at the last moment. Logan Bartlett with the coverage. Madriz jinx almost had a nice touchdown grab.
That would have been a sweet snag there. It looked like they went zone coverage, but the secondary able to recover just in time because that looked like he had two paws on the ball but just couldn't bring it down with the contact. It's a great second chance effort. And let's see if Bellarmine can take opportunity of that great field position that to start the drive off with. It is a 3rd and long 10 yards, yeah.
Couldn't quite control it to the ground. Packard lined up near side as a receiver. Smith takes the snap. He's going to have to take off and run. He's inside the 15 and gets tripped up at the 13. A good tackle made there by Bartlett to stop him after a 7-yard run. So it's 4th and 3, and we'll see if the Bells will elect to go for it here after the Smith 7-yard gain.
Yeah, though he didn't pick up the first down there, I'm really liking what I'm seeing from this Bellarmine offense on this drive. They're really getting the ball moving as opposed to just short runs for short gains, 3 and outs. So they're taking risks and they're experimenting, and that's exactly what we want to see on the first home game of the year and the last game before the WCAL season starts.
Well, looks like this could be a direct snap, and we're going to have a whistle first. And on the direct snap there for Bellarmine was number 20, Ryan Collins, who is a listed wide receiver / safety. But a timeout is called with 2:11 to go in the first quarter, and Vintage leading Bellarmine 6-0, getting a 27-yard passing touchdown from Jacob Aaron to Billy Birdsall.
Yeah, I think they call the timeout there just to talk over what they want to do on this 4th and relatively short situation. They are in pretty good field position, and we saw Bellarmine's kicker hit a long field goal during the pregame warm-up. So let's see if they send out the field goal unit, or if Mike Janda has some offensive play up his sleeve.
Again, 36th season at the helm here, Mike Janda. 283 career wins. He's had just a fantastic tenure as head coach of the Bells, and you mentioned it, Samartha. Andrew Schaefer in pregame, he was good out to 50.
Yeah.
Now, of course, he's kicking off a tee there.
Right, but he's got the leg for it for sure.
He definitely does. So they keep their offense out there. It's eyes on Henry, Reese Burrill out there, Ben Richards. It does look like it's going to be Collins to take the direct snap. And he'll keep it. He needs the 10. He got the 11. And that is not going to be enough. A good tackle. Logan Bartlett was in on the play again. A good effort there by the Bells, but not quite enough, as Ryan Collins picked up 2 on the play when they needed 3.
Yeah, I was surprised to see them come up in a sort of run formation to try to run it right up the gut, and because the QB draw with the wide receivers set outside really worked well for them on this drive. So if they were going to do a QB draw, I was hoping to see them spread the defense out so to really clear up the area right in front of the nose tackle for the Bells.
2:06 to go in the first quarter. Vintage 6, Bellarmine nothing. That was a good drive overall for the Bells. And it did go 44 yards, but they needed one more to keep the drive running. So Jacob Aaron for his second series. Jeremy Bradley gets the handoff, and he is wrapped up immediately, brought down in the backfield by Ben Richards.
Yeah, I've noticed this in this game in general. The Bellarmine pass rush and the run game the run defense has been able to penetrate the Vintage offensive line very well, very quickly, and they've really done a good job trying to eliminate that aspect of Vintage's offense. So if they can continue a run defense, a run stop like how we saw on that last play, I think the future for this game is bright for Bellarmine.
The drive officially started at the 12. That was no gain. 2nd and 10 at the 12. 1:28 to go. Under center, and it's going to be kept. Again, number 22, who is not on the roster. Our best guess is that it would be number 21, Jaden Benjamin, who kind of has the build, 5'9", 170 of the player wearing number 22. Could be Adam Wesner, 5'5", 135. Kind of tough to tell height from where we are.
Yeah, I think it was a fake to the fullback on that one. And Bellarmine does a great job of not falling for that and able to recognize that QB draw, which is a theme we're seeing for this game. A lot of QB runs.
So it's 3rd and 8. Actually, that's probably Bill Chida's number 22. He's listed as number 11, and that's what we're going to go with. He's the backup quarterback. He's good on his feet, and he's going to get the first down, spins out of a tackle, and finally taken to the turf by Reese Burrill, but not before a gain of 12.
Yeah, he looks like a running back out there when he's running the ball. His feet just keep churning, able to make some nifty moves with his feet, and able to pick up that first down. Again, as I said in the last sequence, both teams are running the ball through their quarterback and not the running back. So they've got very mobile quarterbacks, both teams.
So 1st and 10 from the 26. That was probably the last play of the first quarter. Clock at 9 seconds and still ticking. Jacob Aaron is back there under center. And he'll hand it off this time. It's Mauricio Castro, and he is wrapped up, brought down. Gudadaro gets some help from Garrett Arnold on the play. It is a 3-yard gain on the last play from scrimmage in the first quarter. It's 6-0 Bellarmine trailing Vintage after 12 minutes of work here from San Jose City College. We'll take a quick break. You're watching Bellarmine Sports on BCP Sports Live. Back here for the start of the second quarter at San Jose City College. Home opener for the Bells varsity football team in 2019. They are in a competitive game right now with Vintage. It's 6-0 Vintage Crushers, the reigning champions of the Vine Valley Athletic League under 4th-year head coach Dylan Leach, who played football himself at Vintage, was most recently an assistant at Napa. Vintage is located in Napa, California. And to start the second quarter, it's 2nd and 6 from the 29. And the handoff, 2nd and 7 from the 29, I should say. As this one's brought out to the near side, and a nice gain there for a first down. Out near the 40 on the carry there, Thomas Rogerson, who's a starting linebacker, also gets a good gain out to the 39. It's a gain, a 44, a gain of 15.
Yeah, that looked like a busted play for Vintage from the beginning, but he's able to keep stringing out the run to the sideline and able to finally turn the corner on the defense that was in hot pursuit and able to pick up a great first down for Vintage.
11:53 to go in the second quarter, 4 12-minute quarters here. The ball is at the 44 after that 15-yard scamper. The quarterback here is Chaidez, Bill Chaidez, and a timeout is going to be called by Dylan Leach and the Crushers. So that is their first charge timeout. Bellarmine took the timeout at 4th and 3 at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, I'm kind of liking what I'm seeing from Bellarmine right now. The first quarter, especially, if they're able to convert on that great drive they had all the way up to about the 12-yard line of Vintage, and if they're able to come down with that touchdown catch, this game would be, way more competitive than it already is. I mean, the scoreline suggests that Bellarmine is completely in the game still, but it would have really been a confidence boost, especially for them going into the WCL season next week.
And they have the bye week and then
Or the week after.
but get what you mean. The next game is a
Yeah.
WCAL game. Around the WCL this week, Mitty is taking on Oakland. Reardon is at Justin Siena, which plays in the same league as Vintage. Sarah's at St. Mary's Stockton. That'll be a good one. Sacred Heart Cathedral at Aptos. St. Francis at Oak Grove. St. Ignatius against Gonzaga Prep, a team that Bellarmine played a few years ago a couple of times. And Valley Christian is playing Clovis West.
Yeah, the St. Francis at Oak Grove would be a game to circle if you're a high school football fan, because Oak Grove's got a great football program, and so does St. Francis. So I think that's a very high-powered, and it would be a high-scoring game for sure.
And the Lancers took a beating from De La Salle last week, losing 48-0, but everyone loses to De La Salle by 48 points. Chida is tossing this one back to Mauricio Castro, makes a cut, made one guy miss, does get about 5 on the play. Last guy out of the pile, Dominic Gudadaro. Not the first time we've called his name. He has been busy on defense.
Yeah, the Vintage is doing a better job of exploiting Bellarmine's undersized team, and Bellarmine's run-stopping game was pretty good in the first quarter against the running back, but now they're getting more leaky, allowing Vintage to kind of win on first down, because you kind of want 4 or 5 yards if you run the play on first.
And they give him 4, so it's 2nd and 6 from the 48. Jacob Aaron is the quarterback. Play action, looking downfield, lofts one deep, and it is incomplete. The intended receiver there, number 13, Kyle Dandini, the tight end, and good coverage by the Bells secondary. Back there, Reese Burrill also had some help back there from Nick Teresi, who, in addition to being a quarterback, is pretty good safety.
Yeah, it was a pretty good throw there. He recognizes the mismatch and just launches one right down the middle of the field. There were 3 Bells there, so not too much worry for the Bellarmine fans on that play, but that was close to being a big one.
Fans still filing in here at at San Jose City College, home of the Bellarmine Bells varsity football home games, as Aaron gets tipped over as he tried to leap over a crowd, and that was Chaidez, who kind of got knocked topsy-turvy. It was only a 3-yard gain. Not sure why he was leaping there. It's 4th and 3.
I was about to say he might have gotten confused with the line of scrimmage marker and the first down marker, because he thought he had just 1 yard to go, but they're going for it on 4th.
They're going for it indeed. It's a direct snap to Bradley, and he is not going to get it. He's stood up by Ben Richards, and Bellarmine makes a defensive stand. The whole team on the sidelines pump, big fist pump from Mike Henry, assistant coach, and the Bellarmine defense does its job.
Yeah, it was a great play. They were I thought they were caught a little off guard when they saw Vintage go for it on that 4th down play, but Bellarmine wanted that one more, able to stand up the runner, and that gets this crowd hyped.
So the ball is at the 48 of Bellarmine with 10:24 to go in the first half. So Bellarmine gets a big stop on defense. And Samarth, they have good field position here.
They do, and last time they had field position like this, they almost punched it in the end zone with a little fade route. But let's see if they can do it again. They've lined up in a running formation, so I'd expect to see a run on this one.
Double wing set. Smith is going to toss it to Reese Burrill. Follows his blockers into plus territory. He's brought down by Eid at the 49 of Vintage. It's a gain of 3.
Yeah, that's the old classic Bellarmine play that's run at all levels of football.
Double wing.
Yep.
Offense there.
With the little swing action right pre-snap, able to confuse a couple of the linebackers and gets a decent gain of 3 on first down.
Richards and Brock going to check out. Drew Brock, number 33. It's 2nd and 7 from the Crusher 49. Out of the shotgun this time. Handoff to Henry up the middle as he scurries his way to the 46. Another gain of 3, and it's 3rd and manageable. He was stopped there by Rogerson, who also had some help on the play from number 56, Connor Cole.
Yeah, I think this is 4-down territory for the Bells. At least I hope it would be. If they don't get the first down on this one,
Even at 4th and 4, say it's an incomplete pass or something, you would still go for it.
I would go for it because Bellarmine's defense they've proven that they can get some stops like how they did on the last drive. So I would go for it on 4th if they can't get it here.
Well, Smith drops back to pass, has all sorts of time. Great job from his offensive line. He's going to tuck it and run, and he is just brought down behind the first down marker, wrestling him down from behind. And physical play made there by number 33, Dylan Smith. He's going to be 1 yard shy, and it's 4th and 1.
Yeah, this crowd here wants like a horse collar or something. I didn't see it.
I didn't see a horse collar either.
Yeah, but, he had time to set up a campsite back there. Great blocking from the offensive line. Just not able to find a receiver that he really wants out wide. I think it was a good decision to tuck in and run. He had some green in front of him. And it is 4th down territory. I'm expecting a QB sneak here right up if he lines up right under center.
He's out of the gun.
He is.
It's Smith with Henry to his right. It's a give to Eyes on Henry. He has a first down, breaks through the line of scrimmage, and gets all the way down to the 35. They only needed 1. He got 8.
That got this crowd on its feet. Great play there from Bellarmine, able to punch it through the offensive line, making a hole right down the middle. It was off a shotgun formation.
So Bellarmine 1st and 10 from the Crusher 35, and more than just keeping it close. This is the second sustained drive for the Bells after a quick 3 and out to start the game.
Yeah, they've proven they can move this football.
Smith, play action. Screen toss set up beautifully to Burrill. If he can get past that one defender, which he does, he eventually gets tripped up at the 30. It's a gain of 5. Nice play. He needed to juke his way past Dominic Smith to avoid the TFL, which he did. And Bellarmine's offense on schedule here.
Yeah, great job from Reese Burrill, able to make a cut inside. And great composure there by the QB as he saw there were a couple of guys from the edge coming in about to hit him, but he's able to dump it off this check down option and able to pick up a good gain on first down, about 5 yards, I think, on that one. Yep.
Clock under 8 minutes, 2nd and 5 from the vintage 30-yard line. Again, out of the gun. This is a traditionally double-wing team, but we haven't seen a whole lot of double-wing tonight. Smith is flushed out of the pocket, throwing downfield. Oh, overthrew his man. Reese Burrill was wide open.
Yeah, Burrill, that would have been a touchdown if he was able to bring that one down. I think that pass led him out of bounds, and that's disappointing to see. He had him wide open. They got the secondary confused on that one because the cornerback was caught in no man's land on that play. He didn't know whether he had to pick up the tight end who's going out or to cover Burrill, who was running the verticals there. So a missed opportunity for Bellarmine. Let's see how they respond. It's still a 3rd and manageable.
Well, always tougher to throw when you're on the run. And if that defensive line didn't get that kind of pressure on him, Wade Smith would have had a much better opportunity to complete that pass.
Yeah.
So 3rd and 5 from the 30. 4 wide set. Smith's going to tuck it. He needs the 25. He's got it. He's inside the 20 and gets pushed down at the 13-yard line, knocked down from behind by Ian Avalos, but not before a gain of 17 yards.
And this is what we want to see from Bellarmine. They've proven that they run a lot of the wing formations, but these wide out sets, which open up the defense, which allow for some running lanes for the quarterback to tuck it and run it, and to mix up some passing in that really keeps this defense on its toes.
Man, Mike Janda has employed 4 quarterbacks this year. We have seen mostly Smith. This is Eyes on Henry. He's inside the 10, gets down near the 5-yard line. They're going to mark him down at the 6. Last guy out of the pile, Bill Chaidez, the backup quarterback, but it's a gain of 7 for Eyes on Henry.
Yeah, so we talk about the run opening up the pass, but in this case, though they haven't been completing so many passes, it's the passing formation that's able to open up the run on this play as they get a great gain of 7 on first down.
So 2nd and 3. It's been another impressive drive for the Bells. They wanted to translate the points this time. Inside 7 minutes first half. Hand off Henry. And he's near the goal line, puts the ball forward into pay dirt for a Bellarmine touchdown.
What a great play from the Bells. Able to get a big block down the middle. This crowd is on its feet. It's been a while since they've seen their Bells. It's the opening game here at San Jose City College, and that's exactly what we wanted to see up here in the broadcast booth. Bellarmine getting experimentative as they're able to come out with a couple of untraditional formations, untraditional plays, and that is what got them in.
Well, they have been tied at a touchdown apiece in each of their first 2 games. This is the first lead they have had this year after the extra point goes through for Schaefer. It is 7-6 Bellarmine with 6:41 to go in the first half.
Great play.
So eyes on Henry. We're keeping stats up here. Unofficially, we have him at 9 carries for 42 yards and the touchdown. We have Wade Smith at 5 carries for 37 yards and 2 for 4 through the air for 8 yards. Those numbers, again, unofficial. As we open up the windows here in the press box. Sunset is another pretty one here in San Jose in the South Bay. As the Bells now, they score the touchdown. Can they get a shutdown drive on defense, if you will?
Yeah, that's what the defense is hoping for. Let's see if they can ride off the momentum that the offense carried into the end zone. I think they can. They've done it twice, I think, in this game already, shutting down this this vintage offense. If they have them figured out, that would be a great addition to this Bellarmine team.
Briar Scott and Mauricio Castro back deep to receive for the Crushers. Here comes the kickoff from Schaefer at the 40. Good high kick. They'll be bobbled by Castro. And, well, he breaks through the first line of Bellarmine tackles and gets upended at the 26. Making the stop on that play eventually for the Bells, Thomas DiVittorio.
Yeah, he got a little antsy on there, Castro, before the ball landed on his chest. But he's able to make something out of nothing there. And almost broke it if it weren't for a cognizant Bell able to make the tackle there. That would have been a disappointment if he was able to break it down.
Well, 1st and 10 from the 27, and a flag is down. Pre-snap, this could be another penalty on Vintage, and it's a false start. 3rd penalty on the Crushers for 25 yards.
Yeah, you just got to be a little more disciplined than that. You got to watch the football, and got to keep the cadence and the count of the quarterback in your head, and you got to keep that precise.
1st and 15, 6:32 to go here in the first half. Bellarmine 7, Vintage 6. Chaidez, T formation. Looked like there might have been some early movement there. Again, Castro, as he gets spilled in the backfield. It's eyes on Henry after the touchdown run, getting a TFL.
The stadium likes what they're seeing. Again, the speed of the Bellarmine defense, they're able to get in the backfield really, really quickly. And this time, what's been plaguing them for a long time is their inability to make tackles. But this time, they come up big. That's a textbook tackle. He wrapped him up and brought him to the ground very well. That was a big loss.
-5 on the play. -6, actually. It's 2nd and 21.
I'd expect to see a deep throw here. There's no safety help, really, if they're going to throw that one.
Aaron's pass is batted down immediately in his face. Tyler Bowes gets a hand up.
Good job from Bellarmine, able to recognize that short pass. He got his pop there, and that's really what threw this play off for Vintage. And it is a 3rd and long, so I would expect to see a stop here from Bellarmine, but I don't want to jinx anything right here.
Tyler Bowes, a starting defensive end, 6'1", 210-pound senior, making the play there. As he'll come out for this play, gets a couple of pats on the shoulder pads. Ben Richards on that defensive line right now. Also up front, they have 88 Russell McKeever, the junior, 6 foot, 210-pounder, alongside Marcus Mifsud, who Mike Janda has said is one of the most technically sound players they have had at Vintage. And at Bellarmine, and Vintage calls a timeout, their second of the half. So with 5:41 to go in the second quarter, Vintage facing a 3rd and 21 from their own 16.
Yeah, that play clock was about to run out there, so that would have been a 3rd and 26.
Yeah.
If that play clock ran all the way down. So a little undisciplined there from Vintage, especially for a team of their stature, of not getting the play call in time. So let's see what they do on 3rd down here. But I'm really liking what I'm seeing from Bellarmine on both the offense and the defense on this drive, as if they can pull up an upset victory here, that would go a long way for this team and their mentality going into a very difficult WCL, one of the most competitive leagues in the Bay Area.
Tough league when you think about Sarah, the St. Francis's, Valley Christians, Middy's been good. They're ranked in the top 25 right now in the Bay Area News Group, top 25.
Yeah, St. Ignatius made it on the list.
St. Ignatius, number 23.
This year as well, yeah.
5:41 to go, 3rd and 21. This is Jacob Aaron out of the gun, the junior all-league quarterback. Castro in motion to the far side. He's going to roll out to his left, looking downfield, and he is going to evade a sack at first, and now it's going to be a safety. No, he just gets rid of it, but he throws it to a lineman, and this is going to be a flag.
This is probably going to be a safety. That looked like a foul in the end zone.
Yeah.
That's probably going to be a safety. This crowd knows
it. And the Bellarmine defense knows it.
They're putting their hands up. What a great play from Bellarmine. It's getting me excited up here. That was a hot pursuit towards the quarterback. He had a lot of time to launch that one down the field. He didn't see what he wanted to. And let's see what the official calls here. They're discussing it right now. But Bellarmine able to get a lot of men on to the quarterback, but a little disappointing they weren't able to bring him down for clean safety. He's about to make the call right now.
Louis Canipo was the offensive lineman who caught the pass. There are 2 flags down. An ineligible receiver there. They have not made the safety signal yet, but it sure looked like that occurred in the end zone.
That did, yeah.
And the Bellarmine defense is asking for the safety. Are we going to get it here? Unsportsmanlike against Vintage as well.
So I don't think they're going to get the safety. They're going to spot the ball at the 1.
Yeah, they're going to say he got rid of it at the 1-yard line.
A little disappointing from the Bellarmine perspective. They should have wrapped him up, but a good play from the Vintage quarterback to just toss that ball out, and he was able to make a play. Almost broke that play.
So it's 4th and 36.
It's going to be a tough punt. He's got a short cushion there. If Bellarmine can block this punt and get the ball to roll out of bounds in the end zone, or if they're able to get the ball and ground it in the end zone, that would go a long way for this team, especially as this half winds down.
5:24 to go in the first half. And, well, if Vintage goes for it here.
That would be interesting.
That would be interesting. They're bringing out the kicking unit.
Yeah.
Harrison Barrett is their listed punter, and he is out there. They're not going to get the full 15 yards. He's going to be punting from the back of his end zone. This is a big punt for the Crushers right here to try to flip the field a little bit.
They may try to draw a guy out of offsides.
High snap, good boot. Henry's going to let that bounce at the 36, and it's going to take a Crusher bounce to the 42. That was a 41-yard punt, no return. That's a really nice job by Harrison Barrett there.
Yeah, he had a short cushion there. Couldn't get the full 15, as he said, but able to make the best of what he had. But still, the Bellarmine are in plus territory, and the last time they were up here, they took it and scored it, punched it in the end zone. So if they can do that again, they got 5:14 left, and they got plenty of time to put this ball in the end zone. Another drive with a mix of run and pass formations. I think that's the key. The formations, not the actual execution of the pass, is what has got Bellarmine this far.
1st and 10, they'll take over from the 42. It's been the Wade Smith show primarily at quarterback. He's going to hand it off to Henry. Follows his blockers, tries to bounce it to the outside. Stiff arms a tackler. He's inside the 30 and forced out of bounds inside the 30 at the 28 by number 15, Reed McCaffrey, but a 14-yard run for Izon Henry.
Izon Henry making a huge play on that one, and he has he's had a phenomenal game so far with a really good stiff arm, shutting down the defender on that one, able to string it out, and Bellarmine are in great territory.
They're actually going to give him the 26, so a 16-yard run. 10 carries, 58 yards for Izon Henry. Kind of the Minnesota Vikings skull chant from the student section here. Inside handoff Hayashi, and the Crushers are all over that one. About 5 white shirts piling on top of number 1 in blue. And the last guy out of the pile, Thomas Rogerson, who's limping a little bit. Hayashi slow to get up as well. It's going to be no gain.
Yeah, they were quick to the ball on that one, and there was really no gap, at least from up here. We couldn't really see any hole for Hayashi to get in through, but I don't think he picked up any. Yeah, he did not pick up any yards on that play. So, but they still got a couple of downs to work with after that big play from Henry.
2nd and 10 from 26, 4:20 to go. Double wing formation here. Now Bellarmine's going to call for time. It's second charge timeout with 4:18 to go.
Yeah, I think they might try to draw up a play or get a special play here on this one to really take the pressure off of them for a third down. If they can get a good play here on second down, a good gain. But even if they don't get all the way to the sticks, a short third down does a team a lot of benefits.
So both teams with 1 timeout now. What would you run here?
So what I would do is I would do what's working for Bellarmine right now. A wide receiver set, about 4 receivers out, and spread the defense thin, and either have a quarterback draw up the gut and able to pick up, because I wouldn't be calling a play to pick up the first on this one. I'll be calling a play to set me up for manageable third down.
Let's see what they decide to do. And it's 2nd and 10 from the 26. Fans chanting BCP here. It's going to be a double wing set. And play action. Smith going to hold on to it. Pressure in his face. And he completes it to Ben Richards. He's inside the 10, inside the 5, diving for the pylon. Did he get there? He is marked down inside the 1. That's a 25-yard gain on the pitch and catch from Smith to Richards.
So they were expecting a run play like what I mentioned. What I would do was a run play. So Vintage was expecting a run. They had a hard play action on him. They roll out. He's able to escape the pressure, and they're down at the 1. They can really put a hurt on Vintage if they can punch this one through.
Yeah, this is 4 straight runs for me right up the gut.
Yeah.
Hayashi in motion. They toss it back to Adam, and he walks into the end zone for another Bellarmine touchdown. Bells 13, Crushers 6.
Could not get easier than that. He went in there untouched. What a great play from Bellarmine. And there they brought out the typical 2-wing formation that we see all the time from Bellarmine, and that worked out to perfection on that one.
13-6, Bells. Impressive here tonight.
Not the scoreline we expected. Not the scoreline a lot of the fans expected. That's why they're all hyped right now. And if Bellarmine can get another stop before half and put some more points on the board before the half ends, that would be very, very impressive.
There is an injured Crusher on the play that appears to be Thomas Rogerson, who missed the first 3 games of the season due to injury. No, it is not number 32. It's number 33, Dylan Smith. So that is Smith, who leaves the field under his own power. That's a good sign, but was down for a little bit. 4:03 to go. It's 13-6 Bellarmine. Schaefer's on for the extra point. The holder is Smith. Kick is up, kick is good. And it's 14-6 Bellarmine with just over 4 minutes to go in the first half.
Great kick from Schaefer. That pressure was coming. I was afraid it was going to get blocked there. They came in with a lot of pursuit on that one. And that bell was ringing for this Bellarmine side.
So an 8-point lead for the Bells. They've scored 14 points in each of their first 2 games. They've scored 14 before halftime here tonight.
So a little statistic for Bellarmine in their last 2 games. They would get off to a pretty good start on offense and score a touchdown, but then they would go cold in the second and third quarters and then finally put up maybe a garbage time score, you could say, in their past couple of games. But right now they average a goose egg in their scores during the second and third quarter. So great to see them getting things going in the second quarter. And if they can carry this momentum on to the third, a time where they really don't excel, a time where they are actually in a scoring drought, that would be very beneficial to this team.
Both touchdowns for the Bells coming in the second quarter, which has been an issue early this season, but not tonight. Here comes the kickoff from Schaefer. This is a nice, high, deep kick. It'll be a touchback. So the Crushers will take over, needing a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie before halftime.
Yeah, this defense is really, really impressive this game. A great response to the amount of points they allowed their past 2 games. A lot of teams would just, though it's still preseason, a lot of teams would just be like, oh, it's all right, and just shut down. But Bellarmine coming back, and they're playing some phenomenal football, getting into the backfield very, very quickly. That is a theme that we're seeing. They were a little leaky in the beginning of the game, but finally able to get some rhythm going, this Bellarmine defense.
Playing some inspired football tonight.
Yes, sir.
Chaidez drops the snap, and he is going to drop it again, but it hopped right back up into his chest, and he's going to get a gain of 2 out of it.
Yeah, the Crusher sideline does not look too happy with that play. 2 bobbles, little butterfingers on that one. But luckily for Vintage, he's able to fall right on that one.
We've had a couple of fumbles take fortunate hops for the Crushers.
Yeah.
Both teams with 1 timeout. 3:35 to go in the first half. Bells by 8. 14-6. Under center, it's Jacob Aaron this time. He goes back to pass, rolls out near side, lofts a pass downfield. Oh, beautiful throw. Hit his receiver in stride, but might have been bothered by eyes on Henry here. Sam Neal was the intended target.
Yeah, Henry was beat on that play. The receiver had a couple of steps on him. He was just able to come down with that. That was a beauty by the quarterback for Vintage.
Looked like it went off his fingertips.
Yeah, it did.
3rd and 8. And man, if the Bells can get a 3 and out here,
that would be golden. We're used to seeing this kind of situation the other way. Because Bellarmine's got 2 straight 3 and outs, and they've been able to capitalize.
4 receivers set, 2 receivers to each side for Aaron out of the shotgun. Now they motion out Castro out of the backfield, looking to throw that way, and he throws it right into the hands of a Bellarmine Bell, and that is Gudadaro who picks it off and then gets leveled. But Dominic Gudadaro, he's been in the backfield so many times tonight. Then he comes up with the interception. Credit the Bellarmine pressure.
What a great play. That Bellarmine pressure was collapsing that pocket. The quarterback was about to take a hit, a horrible decision. You're taught to never throw the ball down the field, down the middle of the field late. And that's exactly what he did. The Bells making him pay. And this Bellarmine defense is shocking this stadium right now.
Well, they gave up 51 points week 1 to MA, 38 points to Clovis North, and Vintage is a team that's coming off their first playoff win in 32 years, got to the semifinals of their section last year in the NCS Division I playoffs. They were the 8 seed, made it to the semis before losing, but having trouble with the Bells tonight. As there's a run down to the 15 for Izon Henry, a gain of 4.
Yeah, good run to the Vintage side of the field. Able to, string it out a little bit and gets a good block, and they won first down on that one.
2nd and 6. 2 receivers near side. There's a wing back in there. The handoff to Henry up the middle. He's inside the 15 as he gets spilled eventually by Avalos with the ankle tackle, but not before another gain of 4 and 3rd and short coming up for the Bells.
Yeah, the Bells doing a great job of not allowing multiple guys to the runner. We've seen that a lot from other teams playing Bellarmine, where there are about 3-4 guys at the runner at the point of attack. But here we just see one guy tripping up Henry on that play. So this blocking is much better than we've seen in the past.
Approaching 2 minutes, second quarter. Out of the gun, 3rd and 2. Smith's going to keep it. He's got the first down inside the 5, inside the 2.
Looks like they're going to down him at the 1.5 yard line. Let's see where they spot this football.
Chidas and Cutler Lowe's, a second team all safety last year on the tackle.
Yep, that's at the 1 yard line. So another, as you said, run the ball on 4 downs in this situation.
Yeah.
I think that's what we'll see them do.
All the momentum on Bellarmine's side right now. Wade Smith's been very good with the ball and keeping it on the ground. 6 carries, 51 yards for him. It was Hayashi with the touchdown last time.
It's another wing formation we're seeing.
And the give is to Burrill, and he burrows his way into the end zone for another Bellarmine touchdown.
They run the exact same play that they did last time they were down at the 1 yard line, except with them, they flipped the play, and it was an amazing job from Burrill to follow his blockers to the end zone, and he punches his way for 6 points. If they can cap it off with the PAT on this one, that would be golden. As I said, if they could have gotten us 3 scores before half, that really helps this Bellarmine team out and takes the pressure off them, and that's good.
21-6. Again, nearly blocked one more time by the Crushers, but the Bells up 15 with 1:49 to go. 3 unanswered touchdowns for Mike Janda's crew.
Yeah, Mike Janda is probably very, very happy with his team right now, and so is probably Coach Amarias. He doesn't really show it, but he's probably smiling inside.
You have Amarias or Janda?
I do not. No, I did not have either in my Bellarmine career, unfortunately. But
yeah, Janda was my chemistry teacher.
Oh yeah.
Way back in the day. Great teacher, I must say. I didn't think I was going to like chemistry. I did.
That's good. That's good to hear.
And I'm not just saying that because I'm on the air. I did not have Amarias for history, though.
Yeah. Yeah, they both put in a lot of hard work, and even this Bellarmine coaching staff, all the players, student athletes. It's never easy managing the schoolwork, especially the type of work that Bellarmine gives you. It's a very hard school, but they've done their homework right here, as they're able to read almost every single play that Vintage is throwing at them from the defensive perspective.
Schaefer getting ready to boot it deep. Andrew Schaefer is going to kick that into the end zone.
Schaefer's got a leg. He's been bombing the past 3 kickoffs. So minute 49, based on how Bellarmine is playing right now, the defense, do you think they can get another big stop and maybe at least a field goal?
Well, we'll see. If they get another 3 and out, they do have 1 timeout. Vintage has 1. I imagine unless the Crushers get a drive going, they probably won't use it. And they're probably going to need to get a first down or 2 before they start feeling comfortable about getting a score here.
Yeah, I think Vintage will be gunning for some points going to this half.
Yeah,
here.
they're not going to knee on it or anything.
Yeah.
But if nothing's happening on 1st and 2nd down, they're also not going to be quick to the line of scrimmage. It's going to be a keeper, Chides, and he gets a good gain, spins off a tackler, and finally pushed to the turf by Marcus Mifsud after a gain of 10 and a first down for the Crushers.
Yes, if I was Bellarmine, I would give them the space to make a catch if they're passing the ball, but after that, you've got to be precise on your tackles, and the key is to not let them go out of bounds, and that clock stops. This clock is running right now.
Stops momentarily after the first down, and Chides doesn't get a whole lot. And get up to the 32 for a gain of 2. The last guy out of the pile there making the stop, it's Mifsud again.
Yeah, they don't seem to be in too much of a hurry, Vintage. I wonder why, because they're still going to the huddle. They're not going their 2-minute offense.
Well, 2nd and 8 from the 32. And I think right now it looks like they just want to get into halftime.
Yeah.
But if Jacob Aaron is back in there at quarterback, and he has quite the arm on him. Had the 27-yard touchdown pass earlier. He's back to pass here. Pressure in his face, and it's Mifsud again who gets to him, wraps him up for the sack. And there's a Bellarmine player with the football in his hand. Bealing, it looks like Tyler Bowes, but he was down first. But that is a big loss on second down as they're going to be pushed all the way back to the 22.
And again, it's the speed of the Bellarmine players, and they were able to work out the kinks of their inability to tackle in their last couple of games. So with that in mind, this is a very, very dangerous, they look like a very dangerous team on the defensive side in the pass rush, because this quarterback the entire game has not looked way too comfortable in the pocket.
It's 3rd and 18, loss of 10. They'll keep it on the ground. Mauricio Castro trying to bounce it to the outside, slips through a couple of tacklers and forced out before the 30 at around the 28. He'll get 6, and there's 8 seconds remaining in the half. And well, the bad news for Vintage is that he went out of bounds, and so Bellarmine gets a chance at a punt return.
Yeah, they wanted that clock to keep running and just to run out the half. I don't know why they just didn't take a knee if they wanted to do that, but or because Bellarmine probably would have used their timeout. That's probably why. Yeah, he went out of bounds. Bellarmine has a chance to. They've been great on special teams this season so far. So let's see if they can bust a big play out on this one.
Eyes on Henry, back deep to receive. He has a kickoff return for a touchdown of 89 yards. This one's going to go past him, and smartly done by Eyes on there, as we will go into halftime after that ball was down at the 27. So that was a punt of 45 yards, no return, but a great first half for the Bells of 21-6 on Vintage after 24 minutes of play. We'll take a break, and when we come back, it'll be Samarth Girish with the play-by-play for the 3rd quarter. We'll be back after this. You're listening and watching Bellarmine football on BCP Sports Live. Welcome back to San Jose City College. The Bellarmine Bells leading Vintage 21-6 at the half as we get ready for the start of the third quarter. Thank you for tuning in, folks, to BCP Sports Live alongside Samarth Girish. I am Kevin Dana with you, and well, Samarth, it was all about that second quarter for the Bells when they scored all three of their touchdowns.
Yeah, it was a great second quarter, especially considering the fact that the past couple of games, as I probably mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Bellarmine scored 0 points in the second quarter. So it is a refreshing change for this Bellarmine side, and if they can carry this thing on to the third quarter, that would really put Vintage to sleep there. And yeah, that would be a great boost for this Bellarmine side, and hopefully we can see some more experimental stuff that Coach Jando's going out with a lot of his formations. So, I don't know. What do you think Bellarmine's offense is going to throw at them for this quarter?
Well, I might go back to that ground and pound double wing. They really wore out that Vintage defensive line. They were able to get chunks of yards, carry after carry. And when you're up 15, especially if you can get a stop right here, if you're up 2 scores midway through the third quarter, it's only a 24-minute half. Keep it on the ground, keep that clock moving, get your first win of the season. So before we kick it off, it will be the play-by-play quarter for Samarth Girish. Samarth, take it away.
All right, so we've got Bellarmine lined up on the right of your screen for the kickoff, and Andrew Schaefer's done a great job of booting this thing.
He certainly has.
Yeah. So Bellarmine last season, at least, I noticed that they would squib a lot of their kickoffs. But this year, I think they're giving Schaefer the green light to just send that into the night sky.
Yeah, they had a pretty good kicker the last couple of years, Casey Jabe, and now it's Andrew Schaefer's job, and he's done a nice job here tonight.
He has, yeah. Bellarmine special teams overall has been pretty good. So we've got the referees standing over the ball, about to get this game underway, get into position.
Yeah, the ref's a little late getting to the field.
Yeah. All right, Schaefer tees up the ball, and let's see if the third quarter can be as exciting for the Bells as the second quarter was. Just waiting for that whistle. There it is. And here we go. Bellarmine opening the second half, with that kickoff. That will be a touchback for Vintage. They will start the ball off at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, another touchback there for Andrew Schaefer. Last couple have reached the end zone. And so Bellarmine did a really good job of their defense kind of fed off the momentum of the offense. They got that touchdown. Before they scored, Vintage had a touchdown and then had a nice moving drive that stalled at midfield with a 4th down stop. And since then, Bellarmine's defense has just completely nullified anything Vintage has been able to produce.
They did. That 4th down stop was probably the turning point of this game for the Bells this half.
Yep, I agree.
So it is Vintage lined up. Takes it up the field, up the gut, and gets about, I would say, 3 on that one. Let's see how much they give him. I didn't catch that. Who was the ball carrier?
That was Castro there.
All right.
So, and that's who Dylan Leach says is their fastest guy, Mauricio Castro. I was talking with him earlier today, saying, "Well, we're not going to beat anybody with our speed, not where we're located. That's just not going to happen. So we got to have tough physical guys, and Castro does fit that bill, but he's also their quickest guy."
It's a handoff to number 33. That is on. He is Dylan Smith who picks it up. It's the sophomore who gets a short gain on that one. It is 3rd down. This Bellarmine defense is forcing them to run the football. It is 3rd and short. So what do you say they would do on this one?
Yeah, well, they got 4 first time, 3 the second time. I think they're going to keep it on the ground here.
Lines up under center. He bobbles it. Can he get there? It does not look like he has. Bellarmine defense is motioning for a stop.
I think he got it. Jacob Aaron kept it that time. He needed the 30, and it looked like his shoulder pads landed on the 30.
Yeah, there's a little extension of the ball there at the end of that one. Let's see where they spot that. They're spotting it a little shy.
Well, yeah, well, it looks like they have the ball back at
Yeah.
the 28.
They're about a couple yards
I-
shy of that
That's,
first.
that's not what I saw. Now, his knee could have touched the ground well before from what we saw.
Yeah.
But it looked like he was at the 30, his last movement. Now, again, of course, his knee could have been down before that, and there were bodies shielding us from a direct look at Jacob Aaron.
Yeah, the referees are in conversation right now.
This is a long talk for a spot of the ball.
Yeah.
There is a flag down as well, we should say. They were kind of hiding the flag from our point of view. They spot the ball at the 30 now.
If there is a penalty, it looks like the head official is coming over to the Bellarmine sideline to discuss what that flag is and what they discussed in the referee's huddle.
So I imagine this is against Vintage because
I would think so too. But what I did see, I think I saw helmet to helmet. That could have gone against Bellarmine there, but I'm not sure if the refs deemed it such, as they're trying to confirm whether Bellarmine wants to accept or decline that a potential penalty. But yeah, there is a delay in this game.
The ball is spotted at the 30. It would be a first down if they keep that spot true. And yeah, the Vintage offense is moving back. This is gonna be against Vintage from our perspective.
Yeah.
They're going over to Dylan Leach now.
Yeah, I think they're just clarifying what went wrong.
And keeping the fans in the dark as to what actually happened.
And the officials, yeah, it's against Vintage.
Okay, so it's a personal foul. They got the first down, and then they're going to move him back 15 yards. So it should be 1st and 10 from the 15, if we understood that correctly. Now, of course, these refs aren't mic'd up. This isn't we're not in a college football stadium. This isn't Stanford Stadium. This isn't Strawberry Canyon, Cal. But they do mark it. It is first down.
Yeah, it's a costly penalty, but at least they keep the down continuing. It's a new fresh set of downs for Vintage. But yeah, these personal foul penalties in general are stacking up for Vintage, and that's really what put the Bells in good field position for, I think, their first touchdown. Just some penalties, and then that's what moved Vintage back on that 4th down stop that Bellarmine got on them, which turned the tide of this game to Bellarmine's favor.
I think Mike Jana is arguing that it should be 1st and 25. I don't, because right now it's 1st and 10. I believe that's what it should be. Jana's arguing something. I think it might have to do with the distance of the first down.
Yeah, because it looked like he just got the first down on the previous play. So, if so, personal foul is a 15-yard one. But these are the nuances of the game, which the refs and the coaches really want to get on the same page on. And let's hope this doesn't really delay this game much.
Samarth, let's just play some football.
Yeah.
All right, I've had enough of this waiting. And it's going to be 1st and 10.
15.
Yeah, the scoreboard says 15, but it's marked off 10.
It is. Let's see if they hope. Let's hope that they fix that scoreboard there. So it is a run right down the middle, and Bellarmine does a great job of bottling that one up. So Vintage not really getting anything going on that play.
And Dominic Gudadaro, we've called his name a lot. He was the first guy upfield there to get the first contact on Jacob Aaron, who only got one out of that. There is an injured Bell down.
That does not look good for Bellarmine. Trying to get a good look at who it is.
Yeah, can you get a number? It's kind of tough to tell.
It is, yeah. He's on his back. But let's hope he's okay, because this Bellarmine defense is, they work as one unit, and that's really what he's on his feet now. It is number 1.
Yeah, Adam Hayashi.
Adam Hayashi is a key player to this team. He's limping off. At least he's walking without any support.
And now he's putting more and more weight on that left foot with each step.
He is, yeah. So I think they're just going to have the trainers check him out. Let's hope he's okay, because he's been a vital part of this defense this entire game.
Yes.
It will be a 2nd down and 9 yards to go on this play for Vintage. The Vintage offense really trying to get some rhythm going. Really haven't been able to do so with a lot of stoppage in the game. First, that big discussion with the referee, and now the injury. But the referee motions for play to continue. And it is Chaidez under center. He hands the football off. There is not much of a hole. Trying to get a good look of who the ball carrier was on that one. There's a lot of bodies in the way. It might have been number 6, Castro, who is their RB number 1 for Vintage.
Marcus Mifsud in on the stop. Had a lot of help there, but Marcus Mifsud, we talked about him. Janda loves what he brings to this team. He makes another play. Now it's 3rd and 6. Can the Bellarmine defense get off the field?
So Vintage line up in, we've got a receiver out on the Bellarmine side of the field. There's a little bit of pre-snap motion there. They've got all 3 receivers line up in trips format, 4 receivers, and there is a stoppage in play.
Yeah, Bellarmine.
Yeah.
Well, all right, one official said Bellarmine called timeout. The other one said Vintage called timeout. I think it is timeout Vintage.
Yeah. So I don't think they liked what they saw, and yeah, these timeouts, at least the exhaustion of all these timeouts could turn out to be costly, especially Vintage really want to rally back into this one.
That's a good point, Samarth, because now you're down to 2 timeouts and you're down 2 scores, and most likely you're going to be trailing in the 4th quarter.
Yeah.
And when you're really going to need those timeouts. Now, something could happen. 9:08's a lot of time, but with the way this game is trending, you were going to wish you had all 3 timeouts in the 4th quarter.
But I think they valued the play call, because this is a crucial 3rd down. There's not really there's 9 minutes left in this quarter, so they don't want Bellarmine to get the run game going, or else that would really kill the clock. As Chaidez with the snap, the pressure is coming. He's able to avoid 1 tackle. Let's see if he can slip another one. He cannot. Great defensive play. The pressure gets there, and Chaidez trying to make a play with his feet, but not able to do so.
He needed the 25. He got the 23. 4th and 2, and you got to send out the punting unit if you're Vintage.
You got to have a lot of guts to go for it now. But if there is a time in the season to do so, I think it would be now before the league play starts.
Well, credit Ben Richards. He didn't get the sack, but he really kind of blew that play up and forced Chaidez to just tuck it and run.
He did. So it's Harrison Barrett, punting this football. It's a pretty good kick there. Oh, and he is blasted. Is there a flag? I do not think so. He did not call a fair catch on that one. The return man looked like it was Henry.
Yeah.
Yep, that was Henry, and he did not call a fair catch. Maybe trying to do a little bit too much on that one.
Briar Scott timed that perfectly. Number 17 in white, maroon, and gold for Vintage.
Yeah, he caught that one in stride.
Yeah, and leveled a nice hit on Izon. So again, Samarth, great field position for the Bells.
It is, yeah, and the 3 touchdowns that they scored were thanks to that great field position. It is a snap, and it's an outside handoff, and he's getting some good yards. That looks like Henry, who was the ball carrier. Yes, it was. So great yardage on that 1st down play, and that is enough to pick up that 1st down.
Yep. Izon Henry, I mean, all right, his first carry went for -1, and since then he has had 74 yards on his last 12 carries. He has 73 for 12 overall. So a little more than 73 on 13. So about 5.5 yards per carry, and he has just gotten better as the game has gone on.
And now Bellarmine make a QB substitution. It's Wade Smith who comes on to the field. They are looking to be in a run formation. They do hand the football off, and it is number 4, Reese Burrell, who had that touchdown run earlier in the game, picks it up for a decent game for Bellarmine.
He gets about a couple of yards. Bryce Eade in on the stop alongside Dylan Smith. 2nd and 8. That's better for this Vintage defense.
So Wade Smith breaks this huddle, and see what they're going to line up. He goes in the shotgun position. He tosses that football out to Henry. Henry looks like he's got a head of steam. He's able to use the momentum to carry him to about the 36-yard line, it looks like.
Yep.
And he is not able to get the first, but it is a third and very, very manageable. 3rd and 2 is what they are going to officially call it as.
And, I mean, this is perfect for the Bells. Keep it on the ground. Keep the clock moving. They got 1 first down already. You're kind of in 2-down territory. I mean, you're not going to be kicking a 53-yarder most likely if you don't pick
Probably
it up
not,
here.
yeah.
So you have 2 plays to get 2 yards.
Yeah, and Bellarmine have clearly shown that they can operate very well in short yardage situations, as both of those touchdowns were scored on 1st and goal at the 1-yard line. Looks like it's Wade Smith under center. He tosses the ball out to number 4. It is Reese Burrill, I believe, the ball carrier on that one.
And he got enough. They needed 2. He got 3.
That's exactly what they want to do, as you said, pound the clock. Clock is not moving at the moment.
Clock stops momentarily after first down to
Right.
reset the chains. And now it's moving. We're midway through the 3rd quarter now, 6:08 to go.
Yeah, not as high action as the 2nd quarter, but it's going in Bellarmine's favor. There's a handoff to Henry. Henry trying to string it to the outside. There is a flag on the field. This one's probably coming back. Looked like a holding or something.
This is holding.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell which Bell committed the infraction, but you could see that flag came out in the backfield, and it looked like it was just after a vintage crusher got released on what was probably a grab of the jersey.
Right, yeah. If we had instant replay, that would have been a nice thing to circle.
Yeah, so, well, Bellarmine's been pretty clean with penalties up to this point. They only had the 1 penalty in the 1 false start. That's just their 2nd penalty overall compared to 4 for vintage.
Yeah, it was. It's been vintage who have not been too clean with their penalties, a little undisciplined. All right, Bellarmine with 1 wide receiver out. 2 actually. It is Smith under center. He motions his receiver. That looks like a false start.
Yeah.
Yep. Call flags all over the field.
Yeah, anytime you see an offensive lineman just move just a little bit, the defensive lineman's going to blow that up to bring attention to it. And, yes, it is a false start. You were right on it, Smart.
2 penalties in a row for Bellarmine, so not the clean type of football we're used to.
Just as we were talking about the penalty-free football.
Right, 2 in a row. This is just the broadcaster jinx, I guess.
You know, Smarth, I don't believe in the broadcaster's jinx.
Do you
Maybe
not?
that's just me. Yeah, I'm not a broadcaster's jinx kind of guy. Do you believe in it?
I'm not a guy to believe in superstition, but it's happened more than enough times in professional sports for me to have a little bit of bias towards that.
As Michael Scott would say, I'm not superstitious. I'm a little stitious.
And it is Smith who snaps that football, hands it off to Burrill, who fights for a hard-fought 1 yard, maybe even like 3/4 of a yard.
It'll go down as 1, but those 15 penalty yards, it's especially with the offense, the double wing that Bellarmine wants to run. When you're behind the chains like this, it is tough to make up ground.
Yeah, and that works in a situation like this where they're up by more than 2 scores. So I would really hope that they can cover this ground and really ride this game out. So they line up with 4 wide receivers, and another flag on.
That's
a false start.
Looked like a receiver might have jumped early.
Yeah. So the coaching staff on Bellarmine's side does not look too happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, that is 20 yards in penalties on this drive alone.
Yeah, 3 in a row. Do you still not believe in the commentator's jinx?
Yeah, I still don't. I am the guy in the press box who will say a guy has a no-hitter going after 3 innings just to rankle the feathers of everyone else.
That's how you raise the blood pressure of a few viewers. It is Smith with the snap. The pressure comes. He steps up into the pocket. The pocket is collapsing, and he's brought down.
Oh.
Well, Bellarmine started off from about their enemy 40-yard line. They're all the way back at about their own 40.
And I believe that was Jack Odell who got in there. Ian Avalos was there as well. There were a few Crushers who got into the backfield, but Wade Smith was breaking one broken tackle away from really busting that one.
Yeah, there was a lot of space open thanks to the wide receivers who stretched the defense upfield. So if he did a good job of good pocket presence, and he stepped up into the pocket, but he wasn't able to get past the second wave that was coming in.
Well, it's 3rd and 37.
Let's see what they do here. They got 4 receivers. That is a low snap. That pressure is coming. He's just going to absorb the pressure. And did not work out as well as they hoped. I mean, it was a 3rd and a mile, so. But now the punting team's got to work really hard. Schaefer's got a big leg, as we said, but is it big enough to pin them deep?
We'll find out. I mean, Briar Scott, the big hit on the return for Henry, got the sack there, but that was all because of the low snap. But at the very least, the clock is running, and it's under 3.5 minutes now.
Yeah, I would expect Bellarmine to run this play clock all the way down. Take the snap. It is a Australian football-style kick. He calls a fair catch. That's a pretty good kick, about to the 25-yard line, I would say, 24 maybe.
It's about a 34-yard kick, maybe 35. Yeah, to the 24, 35, no return. You'll take a net 35 in high school football.
Yeah, I think the ideal situation there would be to kind of put it in a place where the return man couldn't get it, and maybe hope for a favorable hop towards the sideline and maybe get around the 10, 15-yard line. That would have been the ideal situation for Bellarmine on that play. So let's see who's under center there for Vintage. Looks like it is a pass right up the middle, and they are able to get that first down. A great pass from Chaidez to his to number 4 for that first down.
Yeah, good pitch and catch there over the middle. I think that was Sam Neal, number 5, who made the catch.
Number 5, okay. So as this quarter winds down, we're still at the same score as we were. It is Chaidez under center. Takes the snap, he hands it off, and the Bellarmine defense all over the runner again. Let's see who gets out of that pile with that football. It is number 6, Castro, who has been their workhorse running back this entire game.
Well, hats off to Mason Ciari for getting involved in that play. Number 66 in a Navy uniform, and no gain. Unofficially 9 carries for 32 yards for Castro.
Yeah, not a game to write home about, but he's been getting the handoffs. Chaidez will send, looks like Castro in motion, give it to Castro. Castro looks like he's got space. He is tripped up with a touchdown-saving tackle from Bellarmine. It is DiVitiro, Thomas DiVitiro, the sophomore, 5'10", 150 pounds there. Great tackle, just able to trip him up because that looked like he's going to carry that rock to the house on that one.
Fly sweep, and it works to perfection. 12 yards for Castro there, and you mentioned it, DiVittorio saved a touchdown. If he gets past him, we've got potentially a 1-score game.
Yep. So Vintage is going to line up a receiver out, 1 receiver out. And they got 3 guys in the backfield. It's handoff to number 20, but the bells all over that one. The carry by Jeremy Bradley, the senior, who is the backup to Castro for Vintage. And there were many bells who penetrated on that one.
Yeah, there was a bunch of guys in blue there, and Bradley never had a chance.
Yep, the defensive line wanted it more than the offensive line, and that's what got them a good stop.
The baseline goal for this Bellarmine defense should be to keep it at 21-6 going into the fourth quarter, at the very least, especially with 1 minute to go now.
Right.
Don't let them get a big hit and play that allows them to carry momentum over to the fourth quarter.
Chaidez takes a snap. He drops back. He throws that football. It is caught by number 6 again. It is Castro who is involved in all 3 plays for the 3 of the pass plays for Vintage.
That looked like a sidearm toss
Yeah,
from
that
Chaidez.
was a little bit of a Patrick Mahomes vibes
You
coming out
know,
of here.
a little unorthodox, but hey, it worked.
It did.
And Chaidez is 2 for 2 for 23 yards, so who are we to question his throwing motion?
Yeah, he was going across, and that's really hard to do when you're a right-handed quarterback and you're rolling right to throw it outright.
Big third down here.
Chaidez, it's a 3rd and short. Hands it off to number 33 for Vintage. He gets that first down there. A bit of extracurriculars after that play. The referee just giving a little talking to. Let's see who that is for Vintage. Look like maybe the lineman. Number 73 for Vintage, getting a little talking to from the official on that one.
Yeah, that was Dominic Smith with a little bit of extracurricular there, but they do pick up 6 yards on the ground.
You got to keep your head in the game because they got a big game, and if the official wants, you could have thrown a flag for that one and negated that great play. As Chaidez takes the snap, hands the football off. He gets a pretty nice hole. Looks like number 33 again for Vintage. Dylan Smith is their other running back that they utilize a lot because of an injury to Zikovic. They're one of their primary runners for Vintage.
Yeah, well, Dylan Smith last week had a 73-yard touchdown run against Acalanes that really put that game away.
So, yeah, this quarter winds down. It is 0-0-0 for the third quarter. It was what Bellarmine exactly wanted, to have Vintage chasing the game by the fourth. The defense set up strong. The offense killed enough time. And next quarter, we will be back, but we will have Kevin Dana on our play-by-play call, and I'll return to my original role as color.
All right, back here for the fourth quarter. The cheering section pretty amped here, Samara.
It is, yeah, and that's exactly what the players want for Bellarmine to get their crowd hyped.
So 2nd and 1, and a big tackle there as Dylan Smith was going sideways and making the big stop. Nick Teresi. Did Smith get the first down? It's close.
Yeah, that's.
No, yeah, he's about a nose of the football shy.
Yeah, 3rd and 1. But they've got. Yeah, it is. He's very, very close. Nick Teresi, the safety, coming in from that position, and the last line of defense coming through. So they gotta stand up tall on this 3rd down play.
From the 26, 11-18 to go in the fourth quarter. Chaidez hands it off. It's Smith again, and he bowls his way inside the 25, picking up the first down. Good push from that Vintage Crusher offensive line on the gain of 4.
Yeah, that play made old school football coaches smile because on 3rd down and 1, usually it's becoming a trend of just, pass plays, some hard play action, some boot rolls. But, they just went old school and pounded the rock on that one.
They need 2 touchdowns and a 2-point conversion on one of them to tie this up. The clock should be running, but it is stuck at 11-11. They got an extra 5 seconds there. Smith bouncing it out to the right, and he gets tripped up by Reese Burrill, but he gets down to the 15 for a gain of 7. And Dylan Smith has been the feature back here on this drive, and he has been impressive.
Yeah, Burrill's having a great game, but Smith there able to find the gap. He actually had a couple of gaps on the strong side there, and good job by the offensive line to open that one up.
Eyes on Henry coming off the field with an apparent injury. Adam Hayashi is going to take his place at cornerback. So we'll keep an eye on that. It's Bradley off right tackle, and he's into the end zone. Vintage scores a touchdown to make it 21-12.
Looks like Hayashi's down.
Yeah, and now Hayashi's slow to get up.
I think they were a little caught out of position there. They were making a quick substitution, and Hayashi not really able to get set because right when he reached his cornerback position, they snapped that football, and Hayashi couldn't, get himself involved in the play like he wanted to.
Tate Solis on for the extra point. Plays on the soccer team. His kick is up, and it is good. And so we do have a one-score game, 21-13 with 10:28 to go in the fourth quarter. Plenty of time for the Crushers.
Oh yeah, this is scripted almost to be a thriller, as Vintage, they decide to save their two-point conversion attempt for later, which is a smart decision. But first things first, they need to stop this Bellarmine offense, who frankly have done a really good job of running that of just running that offense in general and moving the chains. They were looking really good on their last drive, but a couple of penalties really hindered them and set them back, forcing a punt. So they're able to Vintage able to capitalize on Bellarmine's mistakes off of Bellarmine's last drive, but let's see how Bellarmine responds to this one.
Yeah, good old Uncle Mo now appears to be on the side of the Crushers.
Yeah.
From Napa. Solis will boot it away. Eyes on Henry's back out on the field. Looked like it might have been an issue with his left arm. We don't want to speculate. It might have just been a stinger or something like that. He appears to be fine. And it's DiVittorio on the kick return, as he got shouldered out of play there by number 4, Anthony Martinez of the Crushers.
Yeah, it was a short pooch sort of kick, trying to get the special teams, the return team of Bellarmine moving and confused, but they're able to read that play, and they make a good return out of that one. I think they're going to spot this around the 28-yard line, I believe. Yeah.
First and 10 from the 28 with 10:22 to go in the fourth quarter. Bellarmine 21, Vintage Crushers 13. And it's going to be Wade Smith again at quarterback. 3 wide receivers set. Burrill, your wing back. The handoff is to Henry. Bounces it to his left. A good gain as he gets tripped up past the 35 near the first down marker. They'll give him 9.
There's a Bellarmine slow to get up. It looks like it is Garrett Arnold, the safety. The training staff will come out to take a look at him, but a great run there from Henry, as I don't want to, start speculating or anything, but he's looking really, really good, and hopefully maybe turns into the next Austin Ajike or somebody of that level for this Bellarmine team, which works very well under this run-first scheme for Mike Janda.
Yeah, I was asking Janda this week, what did his father play? His father's, of course, assistant coach Mike Henry, and he was like, oh, Mike was an he was a lineman. They got completely different builds. Coach Henry, big dude.
Yes.
Strong guy. Eyes on Henry, fleet of foot. And it's been a very good running back, and he gets it again. And he's showing some grown man strength right there as he just burrows his way up to the 41. Hard charge and shoulder first, get the first down, and then some.
Yeah, he pounds the rock on that one, and they pick up a little more than they actually needed. And they keep these chains moving and the clock running.
That's perfect. You almost want just 4 or 5 yards at a time instead of a big 20-yard run once.
Yes.
Bleed this clock. And again, Vintage has already had to use one timeout. The clock is at 9:49 right now.
Yeah, keep account of those timeouts because they can come into play to a high degree.
Andrew Packard lined up near side. Low snap. And luckily for the Bells, Jackson Sawyer is able to fall on it, but not before a loss of 5. And that really kind of takes Bellarmine way off schedule with 2nd and 15.
Yeah, that was they were very lucky there, because even though it looked like Bellarmine's going to recover that, Jackson Sawyer had a couple of nervy moments there as he was not able to locate the ball immediately. So yeah, as he said, that does put Bellarmine behind schedule and kind of takes out the rhythm of this offense, which was really set by Izon Henry.
And that's the big thing, Samar, that you mentioned. Kind of takes Takes them out of rhythm a little bit. We'll see what they can get here on 2nd and 15. Smith is back to pass this time. Looking near side, has his man DiVittorio as they get about 6. Eventually spilled by Anthony Martinez alongside Briar Scott. They will give him the 42. It will be a gain of 6, and that makes it 3rd and 9.
So I like the play calling to make the third down a little bit easier to handle, but it is still 3rd and a long 9 yards. And I don't know, what do you think they'll do? Do you think they're going to run the ball to keep this clock moving, or would they?
I think they're looking for a first down right
so
here.
Too.
4 receivers set.
Yeah.
I think Smith is throwing, or at least going to start the throw, and we have a whistle. This is blown dead. I do not see a flag on the field.
It is a false start. Bellarmine. Again, last half it was Vintage who were very careless with penalties, and that really was part of the reason why Bellarmine has that nice lead. But it's now Bellarmine who really shot themselves in the foot this half and stalling a drive that was looking really good with penalties, and now about to start maybe even stall this drive. They're calling a 4th and 14, but on the scoreboard, but it is still 3rd down with the marker.
Smith is going to take off, and he's not going to get too far. Eventually, an ankle tackle made there by Briar Scott. He gets up to the 41, gain of 4 for Wade Smith, and that'll bring up 4th and 10, and Schaefer will go to boot it away.
Yeah, that pressure got there really, really quickly from Vintage. Smith doing a good job, though, of making something out of nothing and able to dive forward for a little extra yards gain. But I think this game will now pivot on the field position based on this punt.
Schaefer kicks it deep, and falling on that one is Logan Bartlett, number 3 for the Crushers.
So this is going to turn out to be a very, very tense 7 minutes, 21 seconds. So what Bellarmine wants to do here is the ideal situation would be a turnover on the first play, but that's probably not going to happen. So what the defense would want to do is to make Vintage work really hard for every single yard that they operate on. And if they do that, this clock winds down, and Vintage doesn't really have much time to respond.
Chaidez is the quarterback. The give is to Bradley. Gets tripped up in the backfield, regains his footing, but eventually is pushed down. There were about 4 bells involved in the tackle, and the final leveling blow coming from Garrett Arnold.
Yeah, good job by Bellarmine to really gang tackle him, if I should say. But it was a good job of breaking a couple, and Bellarmine has Vintage in the position that they want them with a 2nd and quite long. It's a 2nd and 10. They're not going to give him anything on that one.
No gain on the play. Unofficially, 6 carries for 18 yards for Jeremy Bradley of the Crushers. 6:40 to go here in the 4th. Out of the gun, it's a direct snap to Bradley, and he's wrapped up immediately. The first guy there is number 33, Drew Brock.
He may have lost a couple yards on that one, or let's see where they spot this football.
I think it's going to be around the 27 again. No, they're going to give him 1 yard, and it's 3rd and 9.
So again, Bellarmine, this front 4 is what really has them in this position right now. The front 4 of Bellarmine have not really allowed their quarterback, Chaidez, to get into any sort of rhythm, not really been able to get the run game going for Vintage thanks to this front 4 from Bellarmine, and that really opened up the turnover, which we saw in the first half, and that allowed the offense to be in some good field position.
Credit those guys, Justin Lewinsky, Tyreek Madriz, Jinx, alongside Marcus Mifsud, Mason Ciari out there right now, the front 4 for the Bells, and we have a whistle. This could be a false start.
This might be thanks to the crowd. They've been pretty noisy all game long.
Delay of game.
It is a delay of game. Yep, the snap wasn't able to come in on time. I think he was just a couple of seconds short. But, yeah, this might be thanks to this crowd just messing up the quarterback's cadence on that one.
Yeah, that's a good call, Samartha. It's 3rd and 15 now from the 22 with 5:43 to go. Fans stomping, making noise here at SJCC. Big play coming up. 3rd and 14 actually from the 23. Chida is out of the gun. Back to pass. Rolls out to his right. Throwing on the run and has his man Sam Neal, and he drops it. Oh, put it right on his fingertips. Perfectly placed ball, but Neal can't come down with it, and it's 4th and 15.
So now if I were Chidas, I'd be furious right now because he had to escape the pocket and make a throw, and he looked like he was on the run when he made that throw, but his receiver not able to bring it down, and that was just what that would look like a touchdown if he was able to haul that one
Could have been.
Because he had about three steps, I think, on the corner on that play.
So 5:36 to go, and Harrison Barrett will have to punt it away. Again, another good boot here for Eyes on Henry. Makes a couple of guys miss, and he will get up to the 47. So the clock at 5:28, and again, Vintage with 2 timeouts. Bellarmine has all 3. Bell's with good field position.
Yeah, Bellarmine is going to run this. I would expect to run on every single play, unless it's in another 3rd and 37, like how we saw earlier in the game.
Wade Smith will go back out there. He's done a nice job. He was listed 3rd on the depth chart this week, according to Mike Janda's depth chart that we got earlier this week, behind Nick Teresi and Joaquin Moreno. We have seen Nick Teresi take a couple of snaps, or at least one. This is Wade Smith. Drops the snap, and he's just going to have to fall on it, and that is a rough way to start this drive, a loss of 6.
Yeah, I think that's a second drop snap for Bellarmine on back-to-back drives, and that's really what set them back last drive, the drop snap, but luckily it looked like Jackson Sawyer recovered it last time. So, again, Bellarmine shooting themselves in the foot. These are the fundamentals, and you got to get that right, especially if you want to close a game out against a team like Vintage, who at any moment can roar back.
2nd and 16. Smith will go under center. Burrill and Henry lined up behind him. The toss goes to Izon Henry. He's near midfield as he gets wrapped up and brought down by Brycey. That's a nice gain of 7 yards, and it makes it 3rd and 9. It's better than 2nd and 16.
Yeah, he gained a little bit more than they lost there. Still another long 3rd and 9 as we saw in the last drive, and Vintage still got plenty of time to come back. If Bellarmine don't convert on this, it would be a bit of an unfortunate drive for Bellarmine. Let's see what they do. What do you think? Are they going to come out in the passing formation, or are they just going to run the ball, keep the clock moving?
Let's see. It looks like they're lining up out of the gun, but with a wing back or 2.
Yeah, I see a handoff on this one.
It's going to be a play action. Smith rolling out of the pocket. Now he's going to tuck it. Stays in bounds. Gets into plus territory, but well short of the first down marker. He needed 9, and he got 5. So it'll be about 4th and 4, 4th and 5. Or they're going to mark him at midfield. So he only got 2.
So, yeah, so the runner tried to make a positive gain. But honestly, if I were him, I would have taken the tackle for a loss, but that would keep the clock running. But in his shoes, I think he saw some open space for him. So kudos to him for really trying to make something out of nothing.
So the ball is at midfield, and now we get another whistle.
So Schaefer's out back to kick it, and with punter at his stature, I think they can certainly pin them deep. Maybe would take a favorable bounce if the coverage team can get there in time. If Schaefer's able to put the ball within the 15-yard line, that would be a good punt for Bellarmine.
A 5-yard penalty on Vintage makes it 4th and 2.
They're keeping the punt
Still
team
going to
out,
punt. Couldn't see if maybe it was 12 guys on the field or what, but
I'd like to see a fake here from Bellarmine.
It will not be a fake. It will be booted away by Schaefer. It's going to take a nice Bellarmine bounce, and it will go dead around the 15, 30-yard punt, no return. Got it inside the 20. A good job from Schaefer, and a long way to go for Vintage with 3:46 to go and 2 timeouts.
Yeah, good footballing IQ there from Schaefer as he gives it a little bit of a line drive, doesn't let it hang in the air, allowing the return man to get under that and call a fair catch, so it does get a favorable bounce for him and puts them at the 15. So if Vintage want to score, they've got to drive a long way in order to do so, 85 yards.
3 touchdowns in the second quarter for the Bells. 6-yard run from Henry, 1-yard run from Burrill, 1 from Hayashi as well. Chaidez, the quarterback. He'll throw it, and he has his man Sam Neal, who fumbles the football, and it's recovered by Izon Henry. Henry inside the 40, jukes a man at the 35 and gets tripped up. So that play, it was a direct snap to Jeremy Bradley, who handed it off to Chaidez, who throws to the guy who dropped the last pass. He catches it this time, but then it's poked free, and Izon Henry with a huge fumble return to the 34 of Vintage.
That play went from really good for Vintage to really, really bad because there's 3:30 left on the clock, and that was a really well-designed fake there to give it to the runner who threw that football downfield, and the receiver was able to come up with it, but not able to secure the ball before the Bellarmine defense was able to poke it out.
1st and 10, double wing for Wade Smith and company. Man in motion's Burrill. He takes the pitch, and he'll forge ahead to maybe the 32 or 33. And again, only 2 timeouts for Vintage.
Yep. So when do you think that they're going to start calling the timeouts, before or after the 2-minute warning?
Yeah, well, and no 2-minute warning per se in high school, so the clock does not stop at 2 minutes.
So they got to be smart with where they put their timeouts. Do they want to conserve it all the way to the end, or do they trust their defense enough to where Bellarmine can actually where Vintage can actually operate their offense? So
I would think about calling a timeout on after second down.
I would
here
think so too.
If it's a 3rd down.
Yeah, I would trust my defense on this one because Bellarmine has gone stale this half and not really been able to move that football.
Well, Smith out of shotgun this time, a 3-receiver set. The handoff to Sawyer, and he's going to pick his way to the 32, another 1-yard gain. And Vintage indeed, no, they haven't called timeout yet. And now they call the timeout. The clock's still running, but it should probably be somewhere around 2:20 or so. Right now it says 2:12. They let a lot of time go off the clock there.
Yeah, either the timeout was called late or the referee got the signal out late because there were a good 5 seconds.
I'm putting that on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
Scoreboard.
I think he's motioning to the scoreboard operator right now, the official.
Yeah, it needs to be like at least 2:20, probably closer to 2:25.
2:22 is what he's motioning.
It's going to be, it will be 3rd and 8.
Yep, 2:22 is what it says on the scoreboard. So key 3rd down play. If Bellarmine convert, I think they're going to ride this game out. If they don't, this is going to be interesting because they're probably going to bring their kicking team out to try to pooch a field goal in.
Yeah, we'll see. Again, Andrew Schaefer looked good from 50 off the tee in warm-ups, and he has shown a good leg tonight. Handoff Henry. Eyes on. Inside the 30. Lunges forward to about the 27. It will be a gain of 5, and it will be 4th and 3. And Vintage will use its final timeout or not. No.
The clock keeps running, so it's 3rd down, or it's the board still says 3rd and 8, but looks like they're keeping their offense out there.
Yeah, this would be like a 44-yard field goal. By the way, by our calculations, Izon Henry with that last 5-yard run is north of 100 yards.
Yeah.
18 carries, 104 yards.
Yeah, I think Henry deserves the game ball on this one for the Bells.
1:45 to go. Low snap. Henry takes it, needs the 24. He's close, but it looks like he's going to be a yard shy.
Yeah, the spotting of the ball is where it all depends, and that's one of the most difficult jobs. There's a groan coming from the Bellarmine side.
Yeah, he didn't get it.
I don't think he got the ball. That was a good effort, though. But, yeah, that would have been a very, very long field goal for the Bells if they went for the field goal. It would have been very impressive, though. So a minute 35, 1 timeout for Vintage. So this one So Vintage will be looking for a bomb play. So I would go to somewhere in the playbook where it labeled under specials to try to catch this Bellarmine team off. They tried that last drive. It didn't work out. Let's see what they do here.
1:35 and 1 timeout. It's gonna be a toss back to Chidas, the quarterback, who gets tripped up in the backfield. And making that play, Ben Richards, we've called his name a few times, gets the TFL, or maybe he got, that will be a loss of about 2.
Yeah, so they do go to the specials section of the playbook there, but again, it does not work out. The runner there did not know where the defense was coming from. Tried to throw back to his quarterback to make a play.
Empty set, Chidas. Flag is down. Fakes the throw downfield. He'll tuck it. Nice juke. Gets up to the 35. Stays on his feet somehow. Eli Hall has him wrapped up, and they'll finally wrangle him down at the 36.
I think this one's coming back. It was not set before the snap. He went right immediately.
So you're saying illegal motion?
Illegal motion. That's what I'm saying. Let's see what the referee calls here.
If it stands, it would be a gain of 13. But, yeah, you're right. They did call illegal motion.
Yeah.
That is the 7th penalty against Vintage, and that'll make it 2nd and 17 with just 45 seconds to go.
So Bellarmine's secondary especially, they just cannot give up a big play because of Vintage get a big play and get all the way to the 30-yard line. Now they've got plenty of clock to work with 1 timeout left. So Bellarmine's still got to keep their head in the game and be focused. They have a good lead right now that they built up in the second quarter. Let's see if they can defend that lead and defend their home ground on their first game of the year at their own stomping grounds here at San Jose City College.
They move the clock back up to 52 seconds.
That's a precious 7 seconds there.
Yes, it is. Still a long way to go for the Crushers.
So Bellarmine's secondary is not really their calling card, and they were beat on about 3 plays, but Vintage couldn't take advantage and haul that football in.
2nd and 17. Out of the gun, Chidas looking deep. He's going to uncork one. A nice tight spiral thrown into coverage, and that is knocked away by Nick Teresi. Also Thomas DiVittorio there. The intended target that time, Bryce Ead? No, correction. Oh, that was got used to seeing number 19 down there. That time it was number 15, Reed McCaffrey, and it's 3rd and 17 with 46 seconds to go.
Yeah, that was a great job from the Bellarmine secondary to know that bomb was coming in. But I think I like the decision from the quarterback to throw to the sideline because if he throws it right down the middle with that many secondary players, it's probably going to get picked off. So we'll see what they throw at Bellarmine. I think they're going to throw it short on this one and try to run out of bounds. I don't think they're going to try a big bomb again.
Chida's out of the gun. 46 seconds, 3rd and 17. The Bells closing in on their first win of 2019. Looking deep, Chidas. He'll take off, looking for, I don't know what he's doing here. He could have gotten to the sideline, decided to cut it back up, and gets taken down by McKeever as Arnold's slow to get up. And they're going to have to use a timeout. Now, it might, and so Vintage is going to have to use their last timeout there.
So remember, they had that timeout earlier in the game, which they blew.
Yep.
So that would have come into play here as they still had an opportunity to kind of stop this clock and slow it down. But, yeah, not a great decision from their quarterback Chidas there, as he should have been able to stop that clock when he got out of bounds.
So 32 seconds, no timeouts. It's going to be about 4th and 8. They need the 35. They're at the 27. And this could be the game right here. The Bells went 2-8 last year, got shut out in their last 4 games. And trying to switch the fortunes here in 2019. Stop what would be a prolonged losing streak dating back to last season.
I think dating back to 2016. Ever since that miracle run they had all the way to the States.
Back to pass. And nearly sacked. Chida is taking off. He's going to throw it, and it is nearly intercepted by Gudadaro. Turnover on downs, and the Bells just need to knee on it once, and they'll get their first win of the season.
Yeah, that was a very smart play from Gudadaro. He probably could have picked it off. Either it was a drop or he deliberately tipped that ball away in order to get better field position and not really risk anything, as Bellarmine is going to just take this knee and run out the clock, and they're going to celebrate this victory. It's been a while since they've had one of those here at San Jose City College or anywhere in general, and that's one way to respond. Upset your opponent, who was, according to Max Preps, ranked about 200 levels higher than Bellarmine. So that's a way to finish your preseason and head right into the WCAL League play.
This will snap an 8-game losing streak for the Bells, which lost the last 6 games of 2018 and the first 2 of 2019. They take the knee, and the Bellarmine Bells will be victorious in their home opener here this evening at San Jose City College, knocking off the Vintage Crushers by a score of 21-13.
Yeah, it was the defensive plays from the front four which really opened up this game, because the offense, as you saw, when they were backed up in poor field position, they could not get the ball moving. But when they're about at midfield or after that interception, when they're about at the 25-yard line, they were very, very efficient in how they moved that football.
Yeah, and when they didn't commit penalties, especially in the second quarter, they were chugging along that offense. 3 touchdowns all in the second quarter for their highest scoring output of the season, getting touchdown runs from Izon Henry of 6 yards to make it 7-6, then one from Adam Hayashi to make it 14-6, and another from Reese Burrill to make it 21-6. Vintage scored the first and last touchdowns, but that bookends 3 Bellarmine touchdowns, and 3 is greater than 2, and the Bells win 21-13. Let's take a look at some of the final stats, and we'll start with Izon Henry, 19 carries for 106 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, Izon Henry was the difference maker in this one. I said before in the broadcast, he should be getting the game ball, in my opinion, because he made the defensive plays. He got that fumble recovery, which he returned pretty well, and that burnt a lot of time off the clock for Vintage. Additionally, he was able to make some great plays on his feet, breaking tackles, very elusive, and position the Bells in some great places.
Also, Wade Smith did a great job, and I think he needs to get a lot of praise for what he did tonight. He was 4-6 through the air for 39 yards, also 11 carries for 44 yards, kept this offense moving, nearly had the touchdown pass, a 25-yard completion to Ben Richards, which got them to the 1. He is just a sophomore. Looks like he has a high ceiling.
Yeah, Wade Smith was a highlight to this team as well this game. They did a really good job of keeping his head cool and putting some great plays for us to see here in their own home opener.
Also, defense, Samarth, you mentioned the defensive line, and one guy just a level behind them, linebacker Dominic Gudadaro. He had the interception. He also had a big play there on 4th down to get the deflection, and also a couple of big tackles late as we come on camera here. Samartha Garish alongside Kevin Dana. Gudadaro did a great job. I thought Marcus Mifsud had another great game as well as the Bells take this one.
Yeah, he did. And honorable mention also to Reese Burrill and Adam Schaefer.
Yes.
Burrill making some great plays on the defense, and he punched in for the touchdown as well for the Bells. And Adam Schaefer did a great job on special teams kicking that ball. He made the PATs for Bellarmine and put Vintage in a position that they did not want to be in.
Well, it's the bye week next. You always get that before WCL play begins, and then it really starts the fun. September 27th here against Mitty to kick off WCL play. What do you want to see from the Bells? Well, obviously you're not going to see them play in the bye week, but what do you think they should shore up a little bit and get ready for the Monarchs?
So the Monarchs are a very difficult team. They are ranked highly by the Bay Area News Group. But again, if the front four of Bellarmine play like how they did today, I think Bellarmine's going to come out with the win, because on this team, it's the defense that sets up the offense. And as they say, defenses win championships, and that's what Bellarmine really strives for in this one. So the front four of Bellarmine is the key to their success.
Well, he is Samarth Garish. He is a junior. I'm Kevin Dana, class of 2005. A big thank you to our entire camera crew. I'm going to read off the names here. Noah Fernandez, a senior. Akshaj Dwividula, also a senior, Frank Anderson, a junior, Nick Coker, a senior, and Brad Lindeman, the faculty staffer, heading everything up here at Bellarmine. A big thank you to all those people and more as the Bells take down Vintage 21-13 tonight. For Samarth, I'm Kevin Dana saying so long from San Jose City College.